I'm so excited. Hey everyone, it's Olivia and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I posted a video and I wanted to apologize for that. I missed like a week, but I have just been in a bit of a funk. It's just one of those times where I couldn't really bring myself to do anything, and I really couldn't bring myself to make a video. Like, there wasn't anything that I was excited to do for a while, but I took the time to just rest and kind of just do nothing and just simply exist in the world, and I really needed that. And now I'm back. Hi. This actually was kind of perfect because throughout the week I have been kind of trying to find some kind of activity or entertainment that would help bring back some of that energy that I was lacking. So what really helped me get out of that funk that I was in was reading comics, and this is actually a perfect video for today because it is National Comic Book Day, and originally I had planned a different video that was comics related. But because I have just been reading a lot of comics lately, I thought it would be the perfect video to just talk to y'all about some of my favorite comics that I'm reading right now. What I really love about comics is that they're kind of like the in-between reading a book and watching a TV show, because there are images and it's reading, and it's just a wonderful thing, and I just love comics so much. So when I couldn't bring myself to really commit to a long novel, and when I couldn't bring myself to commit to a TV show, comics is where it's at. So I've been reading comics off of Webtoon for a few years now, and it is the best thing that I have ever discovered in my life. Like, I don't know why, but nobody's ever told me about this. Webtoon is a website / app where artists and creators put their comics and they upload on some kind of schedule, and you can read them for free, and it's amazing. And there's just so much great content on there that you can discover, and there's something for everybody, and it's just so wonderful. I've been having a really great time just discovering new things to read on this app, and I'm just really excited to share them with you. Before we get into the comics that I'm reading right now, make sure you give this video a like. And while you're at it, might as well just subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to be notified when I upload, because I upload twice a week on Mondays and Fridays, and you don't want to miss out. Alright, let's get into all the comics. Just real quick, I want to mention that all the comics that I am going to be talking about today are ongoing, so none of them are completed, and if you're looking for something to binge read, this ain't it, y'all. I'm sorry, but you know, these are just so good, you should definitely check them out anyway. So I'm gonna talk about my favorite comics that I'm reading right now in no particular order, so there isn't one that's like my favorite over all of these. The first one I want to talk about is Castle Swimmer by Wendy Leanne Martin. So this comic is so cute, you guys. Like, the art style is adorable and it's just wonderful to look at, but the story is also really good. So I'm probably gonna butcher explaining what this is about, but I'm bad at summaries, sue me. So this story takes place in a underwater world. So there are like mermaids and sharks and other sea creatures. This comic follows two characters. The first one is the Beacon, who is this mermaid who fulfills prophecies. So essentially what happens is that when he gets near somewhere that he is needed, this light shines out of his chest and he gets pulled towards the direction that he needs to go, and then he fulfills some kind of prophecy for a certain group of people. And the second character is Prince Siren, who is the prince of the sharks. So essentially they are suffering from this curse where they constantly get injured, and the only way for this curse to end is to fulfill the prophecy, and their prophecy is that Prince Siren has to kill the Beacon. So these characters end up meeting, and it's very conflicting because of what the prophecy says is going to happen. And this story is just wonderful. I think it's the perfect mix of funny and cute, but also kind of dramatic and angsty, and it's just really good. So Castle Swimmer is in the middle of its second season right now, and it updates every Sunday, so you get an episode every week. I love this comic so much, and I discovered it like about a year ago, and I have just been following it for a long time, and it makes me really happy. So because I butchered that summary, I'm just gonna read the official summary for you all. What happens when your life is ruled by a prophecy? Your future foretold by people you've never met, who died long before you were born. Such is the story of two young sea creatures. One believed to be a guiding light for his people, a beacon who will lead them to a bright, prosperous future. The other is a teenage prince for whose destiny is to kill the beacon so that his own people might thrive. When both reject the course set for them, it leads to a raucous adventure as big and unpredictable as the ocean itself, and a romance that nobody could have predicted. Aww, isn't that so cute? Yeah, so that sounds so much better than the way that I put it, obviously, and it's so good, guys. I highly recommend this comic if you are interested. The second comic that I want to talk about is Lumine I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce it. I thought it was Lumine, and then I think it was Lumine, and then I was like, Lumine, and I was like, Lumine, like illuminate, so I'm gonna go with that. It sounds cooler that way as well. And this comic is by Emma Krogel. This comic follows a world where werewolves and witches exist, and it follows the character Lumine, who is just a runaway werewolf, and he encounters this witch boy named Cody, and the two of them end up having to escape a dangerous situation and find themselves trying to survive on their own. This story is also super cute, but this one's a little more intense and mysterious than Castle Swimmer. This story is just so good. I really love the way that it plays out. It has great pacing. It's super interesting, and the world building is also just really wonderful. Around the time that I discovered Castle Swimmer is when I also discovered Lumine, and it's just one of those that really warms my heart, and I'm super excited to read it every time it's updated. Currently, it is on hiatus because it just ended its first season a while ago. So if you're looking for something to binge read as a single season, go for it, y'all. This is really, really good. I'm gonna read the official summary because, man, I'm so bad at summaries. A runaway werewolf, Lumine, meets a witch boy named Cody and is being hired to work as his bodyguard. Lumine, being determined to befriend Cody, tries everything to get Cody to trust him, while Cody tries to keep Lumine away from him. Their life gets even more complicated after an unfortunate event that leaves them to try to survive on their own. That was definitely much more coherent than the way I described it. I love this comic. It's super cute. The story is really interesting, and the world building is just wonderful, and I feel like I am just a talking thesaurus at this point, throwing adjectives at you, but I just really, really love this kind of like, I don't really like you, go away, but then we are forced into this situation where we have to trust each other and our lives are in danger. So I just really, really enjoy reading this. I highly recommend this, and if you're looking for something to binge read, this has an entire season that's out, so read that. It's 114 episodes. I promise you that this one would be definitely worth it to read before the second season comes out. I cannot wait for season 2. Y'all, I think you know what? I'm probably gonna reread season 1. I should do that. That sounds fun. I think I'll do that. The next comic that I want to talk about is something that you may or may not have heard of already, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is also available in print as a graphic novel. There are currently 3 volumes, but this is also available on the internet. It's available on Webtoon as well, and basically you can read it for free instead of purchasing the book. But also still support the creator. So Heartstopper is actually something that I discovered originally on Tumblr years ago, and I kept following all the updates, and then she released it as a physical book, and I was super, super excited and happy for her. Like, it's just a wonderful feeling when you follow someone for so long and then you just keep seeing them succeed over and over again. And then I saw people talking about it on social media, like on Instagram and then on BookTube as well, and I was just like, oh my god, you go girl. And it was just like a really, really happy, joyous feeling for this person that I've been following for a really long time. So Heartstopper follows 2 characters, Charlie and Nick, and they inevitably meet and fall in love, and this is the story of their relationship. Okay, so the official summary is Charlie, a highly strung, openly gay overthinker, and Nick, a cheerful, soft-hearted rugby player, meet at a British all-boys grammar school. Friendship blooms quickly, but could there be something more? It deals with sexuality and mental illness, and so I really, really enjoy reading this comic. So if you're interested in this, it's available online, but it's also available in book form, which is really great. But if you want to keep getting updated, I recommend Webtoon if you just cannot wait for the next volume. The 4th comic that I want to talk to you about is something that I discovered quite recently, like a few days ago actually, and it's my latest obsession. Like, I am just obsessed with this, and I need more. It's called Omniscient Reader, and oh my god, this one is so interesting. So Omniscient Reader follows the main character Dokja, don't attack me for the pronunciation, who has been following this web novel for a really long time, and he's basically the only reader of this web novel. So the web novel is coming to an end, and the last chapter is released, and once it ends, the story starts bleeding into the real world, and Dokja is the only one who actually knows what the hell is happening. This one is a lot different from any of the other comics that I've talked about in this video so far because it's intense and it's violent. So this isn't going to be for everyone, but it's just super interesting. Hey guys, this is editor Olivia popping in because I realized I forgot to read the official summary of Omniscient Reader. So I'm gonna read it all to you now because it's definitely better than the way that I described it. Okay. Back then, Dokja had no idea. He had no idea his favorite web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, was going to come to life, and that he would become the only person to know how the world was going to end. He also had no idea he would end up becoming the protagonist of this novel turned reality. Now, Dokja will go on a journey to change the course of the story and save humankind once and for all. Isn't that just great? Okay, back to the video. So there are only 8 episodes out right now, and I read all of them in just like one sitting, and I was just like, I need more. It updates every Wednesday, so I have something to look forward to in the middle of the week of every week. I'm just really, really excited. I have to know how this ends. This story was actually originally a web novel, which I didn't know web novels even existed until like recently. I'm a writer, right? Like I didn't know that that was a thing. Like people write novels and post them online. How did I not know this? I just discovered that as well, and I was like, should I start reading web novels? And I was like, maybe. Anyway, so originally it was a web novel, and then they developed it into a comics. It's super, super exciting and interesting and really, really good. Like I can tell that this is something that is going to be amazing, and it's something that I'm committing to right now for like several years to come because it's gonna take a while till this ends. The last comic that I want to talk to you about is Idiots Don't Catch Colds by Aina Palm. This story is super cute, y'all. I love the concept and it just makes me so happy. This comic follows the main character Suta, who is a high school boy who absolutely despises this guy in his class. Like they are rivals. Like he just hates the fact that this guy keeps showing him up in every way, academically and athletically, and he just like hates his guts. So the two of them are rivals and they have to do an assignment together, and it forces them to play nice and be friends. The official summary is, there is only one guy Suta absolutely can't stand. So of course he gets partnered up with him for the school assignment. Suddenly, suspension doesn't seem like such a bad alternative. And this is a story that updates every Saturday. I really, really love this premise so much. I'm just like, rivals to friends to lovers is my jam. Like, I love that shit. Also, the art style for this is just something that is so aesthetically pleasing to look at. There's just something about how crisp and clean the lines are that just makes it look so good, and I just really, really enjoy that. I just really love how clean it looks. It looks so clean. And the story is amazing and it makes me really, really happy. So those are my favorite comics that I am reading right now. They are all ongoing, so none of them are complete yet, but definitely check these out because they're so good and they just make me so happy. So if you have any comic suggestions and places where I can read them, if they're not on Webtoon or some other site or app or whatever, I really just want to read anything I can get my hands on, so definitely leave recommendations in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!